Where we left off last time, we actually made a little bitty mistake. And we're like, oh, we're leaving now. We're not leaving now. We've got to settle the score with Liana. So, with that in mind, on the evening of that day, a runner arrives at the Kestrel with word for Arturos. Arturos, this is one of the people who was with Liana when they backed you up at the mansion.
They certainly arrived after a manor had completely, crashed down and burned to the ground.
They certainly arrived after a manor.
They certainly were there.
The runner says, more or less, that Liana is ready to meet at the Harbour Master's office.
She wouldn't have used my real name, because she's not supposed to.
Liana, or?
So yeah. Archie!
Your extremely good pseudonym.
My incredibly good disguise.
We can specify, if you like, that the runner did not arrive for Artie, but for Archie.
Yes.
Do you want us to go with you? Do you want to meet her by yourself? What do you want to do, bud? You literally asked for this meeting. You can't whinge about it.
I know, but it was like hours ago. And she already had the information. I don't know why she didn't just tell me. Do you guys want to go? I think we can...
Yeah, we can back you up if you want.
Yeah, alright.
We can grab some breakfast before we go. It's all good.
It's fine.
Breakfast? What time is it?
It's about 8 p.m.
Oh. Breakfast for dinner.
Breakfast for somebody.
Let's go get some snacks. You guys want to go to those go to those food carts afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some ratsies?
I'm not getting ratsies, but Artie, you would probably like ratsies.
Oh, I don't like how tiny their bones are.
Yeah, whatever. Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So, we're headed off to her office?
You're headed off to the Harbour Master's office. Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's a short trip, at least.
It is. Yeah. It is not a long trip in the slightest. It is literally just down the way. So, you walk down the docks in the dark. You can see lamplighters walking around, setting the torches on. You can see people wrapping up for the night.
You can see a rat getting his tail lit on fire, screaming, "Like the lamp, not the rat, like the lamp, not the rat."
Yes, it's definitely that time of year.
Yeah, there's Fozziwig's rubber chicken factory.
God. Anyway, you arrive at the Harbour Master's office and enter. Sitting at the Harbour Master's desk is the secretary, the aforementioned Liana Firahel, the elf. Well, no, is it the elf or the half-elf? God, I can't even remember.
It's Liana.
It's Liana. Is that bitch, the one who was rude to you last time?
But she's still hot.
I mean, well, yeah. I don't know. It depends on how much you want her to, on how much you want like a girl to be mean to you, and whether or not that girl is hot enough to be mean to you and still be like India. You know what? It's
that's a high level for me.
That's fair.
As you walk in, she says, Archie, and she gives a big overblown wink. You made it. I have news for you.
You mean the news that you already had, but for some reason you made us wait for several hours?
Not necessarily.
Uh-huh.
I thought you might like to know, we found the dwarf.
Okay. Do you know how they got my picture?
Yeah, he had it before he even left Floodspace.
He was in Floodspace?
He is from Floodspace, apparently.
But he's a dwarf.
Can people be...
Well, I guess if you get some enchantments or some artifice or a lot of potions. That's a lot of potions, actually.
Or maybe he's like an aqua dwarf. We don't know.
Aquatine
whatever the case.
Dwarf.
That's an underwater dwarf, obviously.
Oh my god. So yes, you have we now have information about this dwarf. I can tell you the information which I promised you. His name is Neros. He did indeed come from Floodspace. He came looking for you. He already had the posters when he came here. Then he asked me to spread them around.
Did you tell him that he's dead?
I didn't want to make assumptions about what you would have liked, Arturos. And in fact, now is your opportunity. You have 3 things that we can do with Neros. You can meet him, if you like. You can mislead him. We'll tell him that you're dead. Or I can kill him.
I would say mislead him, since it's already assumed that he's dead based on what the Sunders are supposed to have done before.
Well, yeah, no, he's from Floodspace, not necessarily...
Not only do we not want to kill him just because, but also if we kill him, that will kind of alert somebody that he found something that he shouldn't have.
Not necessarily. We are very good at making things look like accidents.
Artie, are you the king of the entire sphere? Or are you just king of a planet?
I mean, the whole place is flooded.
Okay, so are you king of the entire sphere?
I wasn't paying that good attention to my tutors.
Arturos, you would know that you are more or less emperor of multiple kingdoms in this sphere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you're basically king of everything.
Everything being the whole sphere.
Everything in the sphere, more or less.
So he's one of your subjects.
is he though?
Yes.
But I didn't
Yes,
actually
he's one of your
accept-
subjects. Do you want to execute one of your subjects? Because you're basically responsible for him right now.
I mean, that's what most of my sisters would do.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, or whatever the hell you wear.
Liana gets up and starts pacing a little bit, and she says, I mean, we have other options. We don't have to kill him. We could just throw him out. We could beat him and leave him and see if he gets up on his own. There are multiple ways we could do this. You then hear a muffled ruffling, like a muffled sound like something struggling from the next room over.
Oh,
and
for
she
goddess sake!
And she stomps her foot, and it goes quiet.
I got distracted.
You just brought him in?
And she says, pardon me.
You just
brought him in.
So then what is the point of lying?
She didn't. That's the thing. She didn't lie. She just said they found him, but she didn't say what they did with him when they found him.
No, I mean, like, why would they tie him up and put him in a bag if there was no Arturos to find?
I don't know. There are lots of reasons. There are lots of cut purses. There are lots of cutthroats. Anything can happen to anyone on Port Meridian.
Yeah, he doesn't actually necessarily know that they're Cinders. They could just be some random brigands.
Oh, fair enough.
You've always got to watch out for brigands.
Men with pointy teeth? Watch out for the men with pointy teeth.
Me?
Liana gives you a knowing look and says, I know, right?
You always have pointed teeth, Artie. You're fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Artie?
Oh, right.
Also, Jyll, I should stress she did it in an almost queasy kind of way, a very uncomfortable, I know, right, way of relating to someone that you hate.
Excellent. All right, Artie, well, I guess we're basically holding court right now.
Artie, what do you want to do with him?
The point was so that no one from Floodspace knew that I was alive. So, yeah, just tell him I'm dead.
Correction, it was so that your assassins didn't know you were alive.
If anybody knows that I'm alive, I will have assassins.
I'm not so sure about that. That wasn't an assassination request put out. That was a missing person.
And how...
He could be a loyal subject.
They barely knew me.
Well, it could still be a sort of... I'd rather have this guy in charge than whoever they've put in your place.
I don't know that they can put anybody in my place until they have the body.
If your sisters want you dead, then who's looking for you? Who wants you?
My sisters. It could also be my other sister. But I don't think she'd try that hard.
So you have a sister who don't wants you dead. Just the one?
Yeah, that's pretty much just the one. It's either
Oof.
indifference, murder, or the one who actually, likes me a little bit.
Buddy, your home life is pretty messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have 99 sisters.
Do you want to be adopted into the Pedras family too, Artie?
Oh god, no, that's a lot like my own family. So many mouths.
I mean, we all like each other, though.
Okay. Man tied up needs to know what to do with him. Artie, we can give you advice, we can advise you on this, but that's your subject, you are the missing person, this is your call, and you need to make a decision.
I mean, they're not a Triton, they're a dwarf. They're not technically my Just tell them to go away. Just...
Okay.
Arturos, your kingdom involves people of all different species. It's not just Tritons there.
But he wouldn't know that.
I mean, if he's the king of the entire sphere everywhere, then he's probably...
I'm pretty sure he would have absolutely seen non-Tritons in the courts while he was there.
As delegates, dignitaries, but...
Artie, you have to make a decision. He is one of your subjects.
I have said this so many times.
You can't just say make him go away to... Artie, do you know about Jinn? Do you know about Ginny and needing to make really specifically phrased wishes, otherwise they do something bad?
I love
Don't tell
Jinn.
a bunch of murderers
It
make him
tastes
go
so
away.
good.
Artie, did you know that make him go away means kill him?
Yeah.
I
Do you
said...
Liana says, look, I don't really care what you want me to do with him. I just need him out of my office by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, just tell him I'm dead.
Cool.
Okay.
Easy. Is there anything else?
I don't know anymore.
Are you willing to do this to anyone who might come looking for him, since this is the last place he was seen?
Sure. I'm sure we can work something out on that front. An ongoing arrangement.
He already, narrows his eyes. What kind of arrangement?
I don't know. Let's say she polishes her nails on her tunic and looks at them and says, I don't know, perhaps for a year I'll make a point of saying, oh, he's dead, when someone shows up, and show, oh no, here's a death report.
Okay, that's what you'll do for me. Now what do I have to do for you?
Nothing much, a paltry fee.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just a few thousand gold, that's no big deal.
Nope. We can cover it. Let's do it.
Wonderful.
Don't want to give her more money. She already got a lot of money from us.
We don't... Artie, it's fine.
No, honestly, she really didn't.
But she thinks that she did.
No, I mean, we're basically just transferring the money that she would have given us.
You know I can hear you, right?
Artie.
We don't care.
Sure, what's your exact fee?
Exact fee will be 3,000 for 1 year.
All right, here you go. And she just pulls out 300 platinum from her pile of money and just hands it over.
To her credit, Liana does not blink. She just accepts it and says, wonderful.
Great. And can we just get that in writing real quick?
Most certainly.
Yes, give us a receipt.
I will have my scribe work on that right away and have it run to your ship within the hour.
Perfect.
Is that acceptable?
I
Yes.
want your fingerprint. That's what they do in the pirate ships. Is that they
It is?
make
Oh. Noted.
put their little blood and then put the little finger, because most of them can't write.
Right, but she can. So her handwriting is probably very valuable here.
Hmm.
You will get my seal.
Perfect.
Why do we need a seal?
Not that kind of seal.
I mean,
honey.
they are delicious, but
Not that kind
Not
of
that
seal,
kind of
honey.
seal, Artie. It's like a wax seal.
Oh, okay.
It's that thing that your ring can do. Okay.
You do not want the other kind of wax seal.
No, that's not delicious at all.
Can we go? I am starving, you guys.
Of course.
Yes.
Be on your way.
Awesome. Thank you for your assistance. Look forward to working with you with the relics at the Broken Palace.
Liana gives you the sweetest grin and gives you a little finger wiggle wave.
Ugh.
As they're walking out, Artie in the back turns around and sticks his tongue out and, does the thing with the eye.
He pulls down an eyelid.
Yeah. And he sticks his tongue out.
He pulls a water tribe.
He pulls a water tribe.
One of his eyelids. One of his many eyelids.
One of his outer eyelids.
How many eyelids per eye?
Oh, that's the mystery, isn't it?
That's the... Who's to say?
Okay. So we go get some street food.
As you walk out the door, you hear the sound of something rustling and some thuds, but you ignore it and walk off. And then, yes, down the street. I would assume heading north through Market Square, where all the good stuff is.
Yep.
So you find yourself a nice little line of stalls. This is actually near Shrine Road, Jyll. Will you stop and do some praying?
Yeah, I'll probably stop in and make a quick prayer while everybody's waiting in line for food.
Wonderful. Does anyone want to decide on what kind of food they eat while they're there?
I don't really care. I don't know that we need to even roleplay this part out. I don't know. What about you guys?
Nah.
I just want to say that whatever is ranch flavored Win gets a ton of it.
You get through the lines to buy some dinner. It's very crunchy, very crispy, very fried, and very salty. Jyll, you get a little bit of praying done at Shrine Row, and you all return back to the docks with full bellies, and Jyll, you particularly have a little sense of warmth from your goddess.
Yeah, how did the connection work? It's been kind of the connection has been kind of dicey at Port Meridian.
Now that you are a bit more confident in the situation, the connection is
Muffled?
if connecting to Ethla on Eastheim is like broadband, connecting on Port Meridian is like dial-up.
Oof. Gotta wait for the connection. Gotta wait for it to pull through and then slowly load a JPEG.
It's doable, but it's very slow.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does anyone have anything else they want to do while we are in New Meridian? Port Meridian, excuse me.
Nope.
In that case, the night passes without incident. Alright, so let's clarify. Your first destination is going to static space, yes?
Well, no. Our first destination is we have to go drop off Kamalia at the Petrus family farm.
Ah, right. Excuse me.
I think basically we can get there. I imagine that Mom has taken care not to invite over the whole family, since Kamalia kind of needs some quiet time.
Yes.
So what we'll do is I don't think we need to roleplay it out too much, so we can start getting back to stuff. But we can land. Win will introduce her to her mom and dad. Show her to her bedroom. And say that she can stay there and make it her own. And say that she'll be in contact. Jyll can do some sendings. That way they can check in on her.
They probably do insist that Jyll come down and say hi since she wasn't there before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We also the ship gets immediately loaded up with casseroles.
Yep. Finn just sort of imagine a tiny kobold laden up with like a bunch of 9x pans, just
9
like
foil pans.
Yeah, just slowly loading them into our icebox.
Also, never mind the like piles of cookies that are definitely there too in Tupperware.
Oh, one hundo. And old margarine things.
Yeah. And like Cool Whip containers filled with cookies.
God.
And then Win kind of takes Kamalia aside. And she goes, this is going to be a lot. But if you ever just need some quiet time, just go to your room, close the door. My mom and dad understand and we'll just give you your space.
Kamalia looks a little nervous and says, okay, your mum does seem really nice. I hope everything goes okay.
Aggressively nice.
She's aggressively nice. She will try to help you with everything. And you just need to be firm, and I know that's hard, but just be firm and be like, no, I want to do this on my own when you need to do it.
Kamalia laughs a bit. She has already been roped into helping with dishes, so...
If you ever need anything, I'll make sure we'll contact you at least once a week. We can't promise everything, because if we're getting attacked by monsters, then can't contact that day, obviously. And I'll send letters.
Okay, she stammers out, Thank you for this.
Of course.
I still don't really know what's going on, but thank you.
That'll take time. Be well, and take care of yourself before everything else.
Jyll does have something to hand to Kamalia.
Before stepping out of the side room, where Win is talking with Kamalia. She's kind of standing there with her hands clasped behind her back, kind of rocking back and forth on her heels. And then she very awkwardly lunges forward and hugs Win.
Oh!
And then it lasts for about a third of a second, and then she pulls back immediately and says...
In that third of a second, Win embraces her tightly.
Oh!
Doesn't let her get away.
No.
Adorable!
You're stuck now, bitch.
Jyll, Jyll sort of waits to the side, and when sort of they're done, Jyll will hand Kamalia an envelope and be like, okay, when you're ready, I have a favor, if you could do something for me.
Kamalia is like, oh, what do you need?
Well, okay, like I said, when you're ready, it's not a time-sensitive thing, so absolutely hang out here, but there's a town that's about half a day's walk from here, depending how long you take, called Stormhaven. If you could take this letter to the Ethlin Temple there, to Mother Sylvia, that is something that I wrote that explains everything that happened in that manor with Varengar and the Red General and things. And it's stuff that he seemed to know Ethla. So if you could take that letter to Mother Sylvia so she knows what's going on, and in it I've asked her to look into Varengar for me in some of the archives we have there. It's also sort of a letter of introduction for you. Look, I'd like you to be able to take that there so you can corroborate the story and everything, and maybe fill in any details about Varengar that might help her. But also, listen, I am not telling you that you should convert to Ethlinism or anything. I just think that you might benefit from seeing how other religions function and just observe a little and just sort of take some notes and compare to how your experience has been with gods thus far. Just to compare and contrast, okay?
Kamalia looks very nervous, but she nods and takes the letter and says, okay,
Yeah, and I'm sure
All
that any of Win's family would be happy to take you into town too, so you don't have to do this by yourself, okay?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, doilies are going to just sort of start appearing. I don't understand it either. It's gonna be weird.
Kamalia giggles at that. She giggles a little bit and says, I'll be ready.
Okay. And she will give her a awkward pat on the shoulder.
She shrinks a little under your touch, but doesn't, pull away.
Yeah. Well, stay frosty, cleric. Goes, and then while she's walking away mutters, stay frosty? What the hell?
Behind you, you actually hear Kamalia muttering, stay frosty? What the hell?
Great.
Now, there is one crew member who the family did not meet, and that was Lachlan. Lachlan did not come to the pickup.
Oh no.
Jyll, you come out to find Lachlan flexing his arm muscles and children swinging off his arms. And he's picking up 2, 3, 4 children all at once.
I think Juliana, Mackenzie, I assume there's a wraparound porch on this house.
Absolutely.
Great. I think she, stays under the awning of the wraparound porch and just kind of, crosses her arms and leans against one of the banisters watching him for a few minutes.
Cute.
When glances at this, but then has to turn because Megwyn's there, thrusting a bunch of necessities. We don't use this detergent anymore, dear. Here, take this. Mom, I don't need all of this.
Also, I just got I just think a couple of your yearbooks, we would just have a lot of fun looking through pictures.
Mom, I don't need this.
And also, here's some of your old homework.
Mom, I don't need this. And just kind of desperately trying to not take anything else.
You are going to take it. You have no choice in this matter.
She is going to end up with all of it, but she's trying not to.
I think Megwyn is extremely impressed by Lachlan.
Oh, he's so strong.
And then let's see, how would she like Finn? Do you think they teach each other some cooking stuff?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Is that a thing that Midwestern mums do?
Yes. They share recipes.
Because they got that tour of the Kestrel, I think as soon as Megwin and Finn, like, sized each other up, and then just, like, started getting into the kitchen and, like, just comparing notes and everything. I don't know if Megwin, like, knows the right signing dialect, but she probably has enough sign to start doing some things, and then they start just making very fastidious notes on chalkboards together, because she probably has, like, elementary school teacher handwriting.
Oh my god, she definitely does.
She'd definitely have slates around for teaching the children.
Yeah. So she and Finn probably at this point give each other, like, exchangings of, like, sup nods as equals.
Right, yeah, because they only would have met 2 days ago. 3
Right.
days ago? Very recently.
Jyll will come up to Lachlan after a while and be like, wow, you're, like, great with kids, huh?
Well, yeah, I grew up in a big family. That's
Oh
normal.
my goddess, what is with everybody here in big families? Oh my goddess.
Well, yeah, that's... I grew up in a swamp clan. Everyone is family. There are no people in the clan who are not your family.
That is so overwhelming. Like, she looks directly over her shoulder at the Petrus house, and it's just, like...
Wynn has a pile of boxes and can no longer see in front of her.
And your mother is still talking.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean, you get used to it. And, you know, you have all your sisters at the convent, right? You have your family there, technically.
Yeah, but
You
I
know
mean,
everyone, you don't have to get along with them all, but they're still part of your life, right?
I mean, there's, like, community meals, but, you know, you don't really, like... I don't really talk to people all that much.
Lachlan shrugs and says, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, boy.
He says, well, if we stop off at Shan for supplies, then you'll probably meet some of my family.
I thought you said they lived out in the swamps. You have family in Sharn?
There are enough of us that there are people everywhere.
Fair enough. Oh, yeah, no, I like this. You have people in Sharn. You have agents.
No, I don't have agents anymore. I have cousins in Shan.
Right, okay.
He rolls his eyes, but he is grinning. Is there anything else that anyone wants to do here on Isheim?
Nope.
I'm good.
Wynn stumbles to the ship and dumps the pile of homework and is like, we're just gonna have to burn all this.
Are you sure? I mean, I seem to see, like, class etchings, and are there any from when you were, like, an awkward teenager?
There are definitely, and there's also probably some stories I wrote when I was an awkward teenager in
here. Wynn, we're having a special book club together.
I'm fine with that, but then we're burning everything because I don't want it to carry it around.
Okay.
You turn around and see Veli is holding a book open and says, Shadow Flame whirled her black cloak around. The love of her life...
Shadow Flame was my OC when I was 15.
Did she leave in a swirl of skirts?
She did.
Excellent.
A swirl of black skirts.
What were her orbs?
Her orbs were sapphire blue.
Oh, mwah.
Veli says, we are reading this next book club. There is no avoiding it.
That's fine. I'm fine with that, but I'm saying that we aren't going to keep it on the ship because it's just extra weight we don't need. And I don't want it in my cabin.
Oh no. I don't think we're not going to be able to get through all of this before we hit the phlogiston, and we can't have fires in the phlogiston. I guess we just have to keep all of it.
Until we get somewhere we can discard it. I'm not even discarded out of like embarrassment. I want all of you to know that. It's not because it's cringy, it's just because I don't want it in my room.
Yeah, it's definitely no, definitely not. I don't know. You don't have a roommate right now. You've got all that space.
I guess that's true.
Lachlan very helpfully adds from over Jill's shoulder, you know, since the trip to static space and then Kofu space are going to be relatively short, we can actually take a little extra weight.
Oh, see, the quartermaster says so.
All right. If I ever get a roommate, then you all can tell them why I have extra boxes.
Will do.
Maybe I can get a bag of holding solely for my stuff?
A book of holding.
Oh, that's the dream, Mackenzie. That's the dream.
Veli has wandered off while still reading the book, muttering to themselves about sapphire orbs and black skirts.
She gains a magic power anytime she has trouble.
I need to know everything about this OC within an OC, Mackenzie.
It's Oception.
It is Oception!
Once you finally manage to extricate yourself from the Petrus family, the Kestrel takes off. Now, it is, I believe, is it a 1 or a 2-day trip? I wrote this down.
From Easheim, it is 3 days to the edge of the sphere.
You are correct. It is 3 days from Easheim to the edge of the sphere. Now, once you get to the edge, it'll be a 7-day trip to static space. And that is 1.5 legs, which will give us when we round up, it'll be 2 travel montage scenes.
Okay. You told us a little bit about this before we recorded. So we do scenes now?
Alright, so this is how this is going to work. Trips are long and boring. I want to make them a little less boring. I can't make them shorter. I mean, I can, I'm the DM, not important, but I want to make them less boring. So, this is what's going to happen. On each leg of the trip, which lasts a week, and will round up, there will be a roll. And that roll will be high or low, and it will be affected by certain circumstances, but none that matter here or now. The gist of it is, if it's a high roll, if it's above a 10, if it's a 10 or above, you get a boon that comes from a table. And if it's a low roll, you get a setback. And each of these things will affect what happens along the way. And I would like you all to tell me how this thing takes place. So, for instance, who would like to do the first roll?
Artie.
Meow.
Artie? Alright. Rio, could you please roll me 1d20?
Okay.
That is an 18. Very good. So, I am going to send you the travel montage table. Has that come through?
Let us see. Travel montage, boons, and setbacks.
Alright, since you rolled above a 10, please click the boons one, and scroll to the bottom, and hit roll.
I got a 3.
You got a 3. Along the way, you discover abandoned or derelict goods to the value of 10d20 GP.
Oh.
Alright,
Just a
Artie,
pile of magic ores!
Artie, please click the 10d20. 88.
Okay.
Very well then, you get something loot worth 88 gold. Now please tell me about what happens. How do you come across the situation that ends in this result?
I have an idea.
Does it involve ores?
It might. So
Yes.
like when we one of the last times we came into Stormspace, I remember we ended up encountering a Krajan, and we killed it, but that probably means that it attacked other ships in Stormspace before that, right?
Yes, the Krajan, because things have to
Krajan
be
or
pronounced-
Krajan? I don't know.
I remember it being Krajan.
Whatever.
Space Kraken.
Potato.
So you'd like to find a wreck left by the Krajan?
Yeah, I think so. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes, sounds good.
Okay then. You find it wouldn't be a merchant vessel, probably a small pirate vessel actually, with all its equipment crunched through, massive holes in the hull, shredded things everywhere, probably a bunch of corpses still floating in the air bubble.
Oh, can it be in like multiple pieces? Because I remember that thing was like trying to squeeze the middle of the ship.
By all means. 2 separate air bubbles held together just by some leftover rigging.
Oh, we haven't gone exploring on a derelict ship in a while.
Yeah, well, let's go hop on for a little bit.
Okay, do we need to take we need to take like lead ropes and stuff, right? Or
That makes sense to me.
That was what we did last time, yeah.
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 I just imagine Kara is on Spelljammer duty. Kara, can you bring us in close enough
Actually-
so we can...
How is she doing? Is she awake?
Oh, that's true. She might not be awake yet. I miss Lachlan is, then.
Kara is still resting. She's
Okay.
not great. She's mostly just tired and confused and more cranky than usual. Lachlan's on helm right now.
Okay. Lachlan, can you bring us in close so our air bubbles can combine?
That he does. The air smells stale and kind of fishy.
Ew. Okay.
There's a little pop as the air bubbles merge.
All right, so let's get some ropes on. I'll slap on the wee woo helmet.
Wee woo, wee woo.
The asshole helmet.
Yeah.
Wynn makes sure that she has her sword and everything, just in case. You never know when undead are going to show up.
It's true.
And hops over with everybody.
Okay, searching the two halves of the ship, one half seems to be mostly empty. However, in the stern of the ship, you find a cabin, which seems to have been there for the captain. And in that captain's cabin, you find a small wooden chest. The chest itself is empty, but it is inlaid with gems.
Ooh. Gems seem good.
And those gems are to the value of 88 gold pieces.
Do we want me to just add it to my pile of gold?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You being the treasurer seems like a good idea at this point.
Okay, did it.
Cool. I'm not going to make you sell them. They're functionally currency.
Good. Is there anything like it's pirates, so I don't know if they'd keep anything like a manifest, name of the crew or anything?
Nothing that you can discover, no, unfortunately. It's just too destroyed and too old.
Ah,
The crew are basically mummified.
gross. Oh, like that one body. Yuckers.
Yeah, except it doesn't come back when in contact with the air bubble.
Yeah. Neat.
Guys, why does it smell like fish?
Yeah, why does it smell like fish?
You do not know.
There's a mysterious fish smell?
Maybe they have smoked fish in the one of the galley?
It wouldn't smell like that. It wouldn't smell like rotten fish if it was preserved.
Wait, maybe the Cragenoid smells like fish, and since it crushed it, there are secretions?
Don't like secretion.
I do remember when I was scraping Grix off the hull that it did have a bit of a stank.
There we go.
Let me just roll something real quick.
Don't like the sound of that.
Okay, so you search most of the ship. You find the chest inlaid with gems. However, finally, you get down into the lower decks, and the hold is busted open. There's nothing in there, except for one door. And this door looks like it's meant to be the head, basically. You know, the ship toilet. And you grab the door. It doesn't open outwards, but it only opens inwards. And you swing it inwards, and a throng of astral fish burst out of it like seagulls, and all flee out past you into open space. You realize that they must have gotten trapped in there by the one-way door.
Oh. Well, mystery solved.
And inside there is a skeleton that is picked clean. It does have ragged pants around its ankles.
Oh. He fell in.
You know what? I don't think we need to check.
No, we don't know. Jyll is going to reach in and just pull the door closed. Nope. I think that's a mystery better left unsolved.
Alright. So that is how the first leg of the journey goes. The first half of this.
So part of that is in the phlogiston?
This takes place before the phlogiston, but the first days of the phlogiston themselves are pretty quiet, yes. Now, between legs, or along this journey, before we go into the second half of this, is there anything that anyone would like to do?
First off, I should probably, now that we're in the phlogiston, see if my dog will make the air explode.
You're just gonna give it a go, are you?
Honestly, I think probably he jumps out of the bag at some point. Like he hears somebody whistle or something.
Okay, I have an idea. Have you shown Lachlan much of the dog yet?
I mean, he's seen the dog. The dog was out in full form when we were leaving the manor. But otherwise, I'm not sure I feel like she has kind of avoided even showing the dog to, like, the captain. She's avoided having that conversation.
That makes sense. What if, she goes to have a chat with the captain about it, and she has the bag of holding with her, and she is talking to the captain, and the captain says, no, do not let the dog out in the phlogiston. we can't risk it. And then they turn around to see the dog chewing on a spyglass.
Hey, no, that's expensive. Jillian is going to dig into the bag, pull out like one of her diamonds, and throw it to the dog instead.
The captain is first like, that's less expensive? What? Also, I guess he's not going to blow us up.
I guess not. So I guess we swap the pseudo-dragon for a hellhound.
The captain looks pretty perturbed. Don't let it chew anything expensive, please.
Do my best.
Thanks. I'm just glad it's not going to destroy us all.
I mean, when she kind of scratches the back of her neck. I mean, let's not make any promises we can't keep. Jilliana knocks on wood for luck, and then the dog barks because someone's knocking.
Yes, of course. The captain says, I guess if you activate it like you did, might be a problem. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not actively light him on fire. He's more of a smolder right now.
Yeah, please. And thanks.
Yeah. I think if the dog's gonna be out, though, she probably will take it to Lachlan to try and train the dog a little.
That's probably for the best, yes. Mackenzie, Rio, do either of you have anything you want to do while we're here on downtime at all?
Really? It's mostly just hanging out with everybody on the crew. She probably takes shifts to linger near grumpy Kara.
She does sass at you a bit, Win, but she also doesn't seem quite as hostile as last time. The sassing seems a little bit better natured.
Ominous.
I know, right? That's really concerning.
I mean, we did kind of get her to almost die, but we did save her life.
Yeah.
You got her to almost die.
Yeah, we brought her along to an extremely deadly situation where she briefly died, I think, or almost died.
Mm-hmm.
And Rio, does Arturos decide to read his book?
That is a yes. He has decided to read the book.
Okay, cool. Pop into your inventory and knock 1 usage off that.
Alrighty.
You can now make a roll at DC 19, an intelligence check, whenever you need to read, write, or speak in this book's language.
Okie dokie.
Well, he's got the speaking part down pat, at least.
Yeah, it's the writing part. And also, reading. But hey, once you're done, you will be a top-tier reader. You'll be completely fluent in reading the language. So, not a drama.
You'll be reading more complicated books than we are.
Maybe. He still doesn't like to read.
So, Annie, what kind of things do you think Jyll would teach to Lachlan in terms of healing magic?
I guess with Jyll, she would probably, if they're going to be talking about like figuring out why Lachlan's healing magic works differently than hers, I guess they would probably start with the fundamentals. Like she would go through she would basically bring in her holy text, which I feel like is also like part sort of instructional handbook, and like go through some of the forms and functions of like anything that takes like a medicine check would probably cover some of that. Then you've got your basic healing spells like Healing Word and Cure Wounds and getting to the more complicated stuff. And they would probably work through sort of what she's got written down with that and some of the stuff that she's experienced. So they would sort of go back and forth on that.
I imagine you get into some pretty heated discussions. Not heated isn't the right word. Pretty intense discussions about the difference between divine magic and arcane magic.
Although druids are divine casters too, aren't they?
Because Lachlan is a druid, but he's a different kind of divine caster. He's got a different relationship. It's not him calling on a god to do a thing. It's him speaking with the nature that is there.
Right, but like druids and paladins and clerics are all sort of grouped into the sort of quasi-divine caster sort of circle.
They are. This is just because I personally find the system reductive, but this is probably the kind of discussion they would have, I think, just stuff like that.
Sure.
Though at the end of it, I think Lachlan would specifically say something like, wow, Jyll, that was... It's nice to talk about magic. I haven't talked about magic with anyone in a long time.
Yeah, this was actually kind of nostalgic for when I was sort of learning all this stuff. It's been a while. Don't usually get into magic theory with folks.
Yeah, same. I think the last time I spoke with... I think the last person I spoke with anyone about it was my dad. It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Is he like
'Cause
he's like a big druid guy?
he's one of the elders of the clan, so
Oh, okay.
his whole deal is knowing everything there is to know about druidism and magic, so I reckon you two would get along like a house on fire.
Big families. Yep. And I think the dog is probably nearby, just kind of chewing on a diamond. And she's like, "Hey, speaking of fire and druids, you got any tips on this whole situation here? Animals, dogs?"
What, on training a hellhound?
Yeah.
I mean, first up, now you mentioned you've got more or less a telepathic link to it, right?
I mean, I guess I'm still kind of feeling this out. I don't usually summon fiends.
Well, that just gives you an advantage, because usually the biggest problem is that the animal can't understand you, and you've got to make it understand you. But you can send intent directly, so it should be a lot easier, really.
Hmm.
You got a name for it?
No, I don't.
I guess we'll have to let that one cook for a bit then.
And she kind of looks askance at him like, "So, this doesn't bother you?"
I mean, should it?
It's a hellhound. It is a demon, or maybe a devil. I don't know. He responds to like abyssal and infernal. This is a hellhound. This is like a bad thing. It belongs to it's a summoned fiend. It goes on a prayer. I summoned him from a bunch of prayer beads, and she holds them up on her left wrist. From a bunch of prayer beads filled with some kind of mysterious liquid, and it's all full of like bad sounding spells, and I got it from a demon prince of minotaurs, a god who's covered in gore, and it seems like that should be something that should be... You haven't reacted to any of this, and frankly, I've been kind of waiting for it, so...
I mean, I get what you're saying. I could be mad about it. But also, why would I be?
She kind of looks around and then stares at him on, like, just... I mean, why would you be?
I don't know, you just sound like you really want me to be mad about this. But really, it saved your life, didn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we would not have... He soloed the Red General for a few rounds. Like, he tanked that encounter.
And he does what you tell him, right? He doesn't go attacking people randomly.
I mean, so far.
And seems relatively good-natured, a little bit manky, but overall not too bad. Doesn't wreck things, doesn't cause trouble. Not real trouble, right?
I don't know, I mean, I've mostly had him in a bag, so...
Yeah, problem solved. And he looks at the dog and says, "Look, I think that dog is like a knife." And he pulls a sailor's knife from his belt and he says, "I could use this to stab things. I could use it to stab people. I could use it to stab all sorts of things. Or I could use it to cut a rope. I could use it to cook a meal. I could use it to help extract something from a wound." And he gives the knife a little twirl and slips it back into his belt and says, "It's a tool. It's like anything else. It's about how it's used, and I don't think you're going to use it for evil."
So you're not mad?
I see no reason to be. Would I get mad at you for carrying a knife around?
Well, this is so much worse than a knife. I don't understand this. I mean, it's
Okay,
a
fine.
hellhound.
It's a weapon. I carry a weapon around, and he pats the pistol holstered at his hip. I carry a weapon around with me. You've got a weapon with you. What's the big deal?
The big deal is that it came from an evil god who used a creepy diminutive when referring to me, and is like... from one of the scariest fucking things that's ever happened to me. And it's a big evil dog that explodes and rips into things, and it is just I don't the life transference Wynn was trying to get you to be upset about was one in which I dug into my own body and pulled out life energy and threw it at Artie, and they were all freaked out about it. And I don't understand why you're freaked out about it. I mean, this whole thing is supposed to be. I mean, what?
That's a very normal spell, Jyll. I can cast it myself.
Yeah, that's great, but that's not usually how life transference functions. You understand the difference, right? I don't. You're supposed to be upset. It's supposed to be bad. It's from a different god that isn't even my god. And I took it because it just seemed like it was at least going to be mildly helpful, because goddess knows I'm not getting any help from Ethla at all about this whole thing. And
Jyll, are you okay? Is there something else you want to talk about?
Okay.
It sounds like, first, do you want a hug?
No, I'm fine. I'm
All right, babe.
Sorry, I think being at the temple hit me harder than I thought it did.
Yeah?
She kind of blinks really hard a few times.
Oh no.
Look, it was nice to go. It was nice to be in Stormhaven. It was nice to show you around and all that. But I think it was actually not good for me when I thought it was going to be good for me, because it's usually nice to be back at home where where Ethla's supposed to be. But I could have easily, destroyed any of those other acolytes at the trading yard. I could have so easily just mowed any of them down if I hadn't been careful, and I could have and I just kept looking at all of them and thinking that they didn't know any of the shit that I've seen in the last 6 months. They don't know anything about Ethla being asleep or a martyr. None of them have any idea what gods are like in other spheres, that they're supposed to talk to you. They're supposed to manifest, to give you things, to do anything. They don't know that it's not working the way it's supposed to or why, and they can't even do half the shit I can, and I can't relate to any of them anymore, and Mother Sylvia just keeps looking at me like she doesn't know what to do with me at all, and I keep saying alarming things to her when I'm just trying to explain what I'm doing, and it's...
That sounds incredibly lonely, babe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm just a little lost.
Well, yeah. You're going somewhere that no other Ethlin has gone before, right? This isn't...
Not even very boldly.
You know what, Jyll?
What?
You're out here, you're doing all these things that no Ethlin of your generation even knows about, has ever done before. I think that just makes you a trailblazer.
A trailblazer?
Yeah.
How would you know? What's the difference between being a trailblazer and just stumbling around blindly in the woods?
Whether or not you write it down. That's it. That's what my dad told me when I told him that swamp druidism wasn't working for me and we started exploring city druidism.
Huh.
Because, I don't know anyone else who was a city druid, and it was my dad who suggested I start exploring what it meant to be a druid within a city. And when I told him I felt like I was lost in the swamps all over again, he said, well, write it down, write down what you're doing, and then you're a trailblazer, then it counts.
You're the only city druid that you know of?
That I know of, yeah.
So you just kind of figured it out on your own?
He shrugs and says, like I said, I had my dad.
So you had somebody to work it out with.
Yeah, he compared it to all the different sects of a religion.
Huh.
You've got people who need different things from different religions, right? They need different meaning in their lives from these different interpretations.
Right.
And I needed something that Swamp Druidism couldn't give me anymore. Different people need different things from their religion, but they might not be willing to completely convert to something else. So, we make something new. Some call it heresy, some call it a new sect. Call it what you like, but it is trailblazing. Either way.
Okay, well, I mean, you could figure it out with your dad. That's all well and good. I mean, everybody that could possibly have the context for anything I'd need to talk about is, I don't know, how many leagues away at this point?
I mean...
Back on Eastheim?
You've got me.
And she looks at him. What?
Talk with me about it. I liked hearing about Ethelinism. It was interesting seeing your temple in Stormhaven. I guess I want to know what it is for you, not how... I saw what it represents to the people you grew up with, but this is about what Ethelinism is to you, right? So, tell me about that.
No, I mean, are you sure? Because it's a lot. I mean, it's different than magic theory stuff. This is a lot of I mean, it's a lot.
He reaches down and takes her hands in his, and he looks her in the eyes, and he says, Jyll, when I said that I loved you, I meant all of you, not just the parts that you want to show to other people. This is a part of you, right? This is really, really important to you, so I want to know about it.
Okay, where... Sure, where do you start?
Well... Where do you start with a fresh, I guess, fresh convert, maybe? A fresh student? Start at the beginning.
Inquirer.
Inquirer. Is that the word for it?
She kind of thinks and then says, you start with the storm. The storm is Ethla. It's everything. It's all of it. It's life, it's destruction, it's a storm. It contains multitudes. Lightning brings destruction, devastation, fire. It can destroy things. The wind can blow things down, reduce things to ashes. But the rain, conversely, is life, water. It can rejuvenate crops. It can create life. It can bring life to where there was nothing before. It's both things at once, but the storm is that kind of rage and gentleness and kindness and fury, and it's all of it, and it's balance between those things. It's strength and weakness. It is protection and vulnerability. It's fully unleashing, and it's also temperance. And she kind of blinks there.
Hmm?
Huh.
Lachlan raises an eyebrow and says, what is it?
It's just when Mother Sylvia was... When I was trying to ask her what the hell I was supposed to do about the dog, she obviously didn't know what to do, but she cast about and she just said she suggested temperance with the dog because, well, it's probably not something that you want to use too much.
Understandable.
But maybe temperance as a name?
Huh. Name the dog what you want to remember when you talk to it? When you call upon it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Balance, temperance, that sort of thing, because he can go really far if I let him.
Well, that could work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... I know you usually want to name a dog after, like, food or something.
Well, for me, that was always cats. I used to know a cat whose name was Toast. I knew another whose name was Spatula.
Now you know a toolbox.
I do. Well, with a dog, I don't know about hellhounds, but with a normal dog, you don't want to give it too long a name. Try to keep it to 1, maybe 2 syllables. So what about Temp?
Temp?
Temp.
Hey, dog?
The dog keeps chewing on its diamond, but its little burning eyes, shapes, glowy things sort of tilt in your direction as much as they can.
He's got like little bone horns, right? Do they like kind of perk up a little?
Oh yeah, like anatomically incorrect ears?
Yeah, like hobby store Halloween animals.
That's horrible, I love it.
Hey, and how does a name sound? How does temp sound?
Its bony, horrible tail wags just a little bit and sprays like embers harmlessly.
Okay, so temp.
Oh. I guess that was all the cooking we needed.
Huh. You serious about Athlenism though? Like just talking about it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I like talking with you. I like getting to know you.
I like talking with you too. Okay. So, yeah. Whenever you want to like hear about it, yeah, we can kind of figure it out. And I guess I'll just start writing down the stuff that I've figured out.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that's not written in here.
Good. I look forward to it.
Okay. Thanks.
Gem Jammer is performed by Annie Creighton, Anna Emmeline, Rio Rios, and Mackenzie Weaver, and is edited by Jake Mason. Our cover art is by Canary Witch, who can be found at canarywitch.carrd.co, and our character design is by Rio Rios, who can be found at rios.com. Our opening and closing music is by Saad Akhtar Ali. For bonus content, such as Jilliana's private diary, behind-the-scenes homebrew stuff, and other features from our other shows, I Will Fight You and Date Me Damn It, our Patreon has it all from only $1 a month at patreon.com/thegemjam. Thank you so very much for listening. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.
Before I reply, I'm going to shut the front door because there is an ice cream truck outside and it is so fucking loud.
Oh, that's what I'm hearing.